Hello and welcome in to what is for me another hotel version of the Skolcial Network here at the Home to Suites by Hilton, who does not have great Wi-Fi. So if we get a little choppy this episode, please write Hilton.
Hmm.
I think that works, right, Brev?
Yeah, that'll do it.
That they'll fix it. They'll make it
Yeah,
right.
right.
They'll I don't know
They'll get a
how, but
bunch
they
of
will.
angry social network fans in their email, and they'll fix it.
Yes.
I look really tired, by the way. I promise I've been up for like 2.5, 3 hours.
Why are you tired?
I don't know. I had a news special last night at like 3 a.m. So
Oh, wow, you're just ripping me off now. Yeah, that was interesting because I had to Uber like 30 minutes from Eden Prairie to the stadium. Um, and then we did like a 3 minute segment and then waited 30 minutes and then another 3 minute segment. It was still really cool. But it was like $100 in Ubers. But you do anything you can to get on live television.
so true. Been there, done that.
Yeah, I've seen the police reports.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have a football game this week. We shared our thoughts last Sunday on last week's game, but overall, how are we feeling going into this weekend?
Better than before we played week one. Still not overly confident because the 49ers looked really, 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 really good against the Jets. But I am glad the 49ers did win week one because if they lost week one, then we definitely weren't beating them this week, which makes no sense. But I feel better that the 49ers won because there's no way they'd start 0 2. But they could start 1-1. That's a possibility.
That's Brev math, if
Yeah.
I've ever heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 100% kind of adds up a little bit. But the injury reports are weird this week. Obviously, McCaffrey is he officially out or is it like 90%? Like what's the
I
vibe?
think didn't he say he can play, but like that injury he really shouldn't for like weeks.
Yeah, that's I mean, he's gonna say he's a competitor. Like
Yeah,
but
me
what
too.
is it?
I get it.
Achilles tendonitis or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean he's kind of like me. Like when I'm playing Madden, like I'm a competitor. So
Yeah,
I always want to play one more game, even though I'm really tired and I know I shouldn't, and I'll pay for it. So it's kind of the same thing.
yeah, you are by all measurables as much of a competitor as Christian McCaffrey,
Yeah, you heard it here first.
and twice the athlete.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
What are we thinking of the Vikings injury report? It seems like Van Ginkel's going to play, maybe more of a precautionary thing. But yesterday there were some new faces on the injury report, including Garrett Bradbury, Brian O'Neill, and Harrison Smith. Any panic around those three?
No. I guess the most important one would be I don't know. With
O'Neill.
Harrison's, yeah, just because of the Achilles tear. Harrison, you just wonder, like, is he just banged up because he's like 50, or is he actually injured?
Or is it just
Um,
there's no injury, it's just a vet rest day and they
yeah,
had to put something?
yeah, he's just old. And they don't want him to practice. So I don't know. I'm not really concerned with those three. Van Ginkel, I know, has had a lingering thing. Um, but was Jordan Addison still? He's still on the report, right? I looked at it earlier. He's still
Yeah,
on the report.
I would assume he doesn't practice at all this week, even if he does get
Yeah,
Sunday.
I'm fine with him not playing, to be honest, because I don't want to say that. We played the Giants, so I have to remember. We looked fine without a receiver going off against the Giants, but I understand we're playing the 49ers. So,
Yeah. Well, also, I don't need anyone to go off, but he just does help in such a major
hmm
way. And, that 99-yard drive, he had a couple, they weren't like the sexiest catches or on earth, but like those sideline grabs to kind of keep moving the ball downfield. Like he presents that option where when you have two, three guys focused on Jefferson, he can kind of sneak through the middle of the field and pick you up some chunk yardage.
yeah, very true. And then you
And last year
compound,
he dominated them. So,
yeah, and you compound not having Addison on top of not having Hawkinson, your receiving core is looking a little iffy. And then it was nice to see Addison winning on the outside because I'm pretty sure that's where he struggled a lot last year from his rookie year. So it's good to see improvement on outbreaking routes.
Yeah. That wow, that's a ball knowledge statement right there, bro.
I know, ball.
You're gonna do some Jordan Addison film cuts. You gonna bring the film cuts back, or is that exclusively a preseason bet?
No, I've actually, I'm glad you asked. I've already gotten all the film of Sam Darnold, and there will be in every drop back of Sam Darnold from week one here today, probably.
Good. I was gonna say you can't post that post Sunday. You
Yeah,
gotta
no,
get the people, the taste of exactly what Darnold did going into
yeah.
week 2. So
I
then,
was,
because as a fan base, we won't get overly hyped.
yeah, I even advertised I was going to do a bunch of preseason film after week four and after the 53 man got decided. But the film, I swear to God, just disappeared. Like I couldn't find any. And I was like, okay, guess I lied to a lot of people. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's on NFL Plus, but on NFL Pro it was just gone. So I don't know. Sorry if you
Do you
wanted to
pay for
see.
the expensive NFL Plus?
It's like 15 a month, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the one that you get the all 22, right?
Mm-hmm. You get
See, I
NFL.
only find value in that during the preseason because I'm not like I don't geek out over the all 22 until you edit it for me.
Yeah, well, you get Red Zone with it too.
But I
So
already have Sunday Ticket.
yeah, and so if you I
So
haven't
it's a
bought Sunday.
value. It's a value. I
Yeah,
saw
I
a
haven't bought Sunday
TikTok.
ticket.
I did see a TikTok. I meant to send it to you. It was like watching an NFL game in like 2003. It's like, oh, what channel's the Bears on? And it's like, oh,
Hmm.
Fox. Cool, go Bears. I'm not actually saying go Bears. I'm just quoting. Nobody freaking clip that.
Whoa,
And then it's
whoa.
like, oh, what channel's the game on? Oh, do you have the Snoopy subscription? Yeah, you come on the back of
Mhm.
like a Scooby box, and I'm like, what? It's just talking about how everything is a subscription, and you have to jump through hoops to get to any game now. Um, yeah, I'm kind of where I was the other day. I think objectively, I think it just it's so dependent on like what is Sam Darnold. Not who is Sam Darnold, but what is Sam Darnold. Because that just
Sam
sounds
Darnold is a person, by the way.
more. Yeah, he could become a legend this weekend if he starts the
True.
Vikings off 0-2 or 2-0, pardon me. We cannot start 0-2, which is great to say because we can
Yeah,
only be better than we were last year to start the year.
undefeated.
Um, yeah, but it really comes down to him. But like outside of, and I know this is like a big factor, but outside of like what you're getting at quarterback, I think this team is better than the team last year who upset the Niners and again was not really predicted. We were what, 2-4 at that time, or were we 1-4 at that time?
2-4 because yeah, we went 3-4, and then the Packers game was 4-4 that
Got
we
it. Okay,
won.
yeah, I was trying to do the math because I knew it was after the 1-4. But I think the defense is better. I think we saw that last week. And again, it's the Giants. It's the Giants. We haven't beaten a team by that much or had that dominant performance against anyone in 5 years, and we've played teams that were equally as bad as that Giants team. One thing I know we talked about that, like that being our biggest win in 5 years. Something that really put that in perspective. This was the largest win Justin Jefferson has ever been a part of in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say 5 years, you're like, oh, that's a long time, but like that is pre Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
That's insane.
very, very true. It was like almost half of Harrison Smith's career ago.
Okay, now
Emphasis,
that's
emphasis on
almost,
almost half,
almost, yeah. It might even actually, it's kind of almost a third.
pretty much. Yeah,
That's awesome. It's
yeah.
closer to half, but it is
A
also
little. It's
debatably
a little closer to
closer.
half.
That's crazy. Wow, numbers are terrifying. But anyways, I think objectively speaking, obviously it was an upset last year coming from a team that at the time didn't really have an identity and to many accounts had been bad for the majority of the year up to that point. But I think this defense is better. I think the running game is better. I think I had it up. I think Alexander Madison had like 39 rushing yards. Did you get a new one? or is that just sitting
No,
around?
I was just sitting right there. Yeah, Alex Madison sucked.
Let
I'll
me
hear no
double check
debates
it.
about it.
Let's go. Let's go to the stats here. Let me get the numbers because I looked it up the other day because the running game is going to be a big part of this. Madison had 39 yards, average 4.9 yards a carry, which is interesting. Cam Akers had 31. So as a team, we put up pretty much 70 rushing yards, which I think Aaron Jones had by himself last week. Brandon Powell, 5 rushes. Kirk Cousins, 2 rushes for -1. Um, but yeah, I mean, looking at that, like if Aaron Jones can put up 80 yards, which isn't unreasonable, um, he's already outproducing single-handedly what the entire running back room did last year against the Niners team. And obviously, Hawk is like a major factor in that, and just any success as far as blocking. But I think Oliver, if he really lives up to his reputation, is a really good run blocker. Um, yeah, and obviously we're missing Justin Jefferson. Who were they missing last year? Trent and Debo, right?
Yeah, they're missing a couple people. I'm
I
pretty
think it
sure
was
it's
Trent.
Trent Debo.
So like, I don't know. I don't know if this is too extreme. But based on their offense, I'd almost say McCaffrey is more important. It's close. McCaffrey on his own is almost as important as those two combined.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I think Trent Williams is like a top five non-quarterback. And I don't want to say and like nobody talks about him because he gets his recognition, but I feel like he's not talked about enough.
No, that's fair.
Um,
Especially because Darisaw
I
makes it very known that his entire game is based off of Trent Williams.
yeah. Uh, I think the offense can replicate at the least what the offense did last year. Just because I'm not saying Sam Darnold is as good of a quarterback as Kirk Cousins, so everybody calm the hell out.
Maybe
Uh,
he is now.
Maybe he is now. Yes. But like Kirk didn't play spectacular in that game. I'm not saying he sucked, but it wasn't like a Kirk 353 touchdown performance. The
One
offense
of those
played,
touchdowns should have been an interception too.
yeah. So that's where I'm like, the offense can play at the level they played last year. Are the 49ers gonna, to a certain extent, no show, kind of like they did last year? And I know they had injuries, and I want to give some credit to the defense last year, but like, I don't. You don't really see the 49ers getting dominated. And I think the final score is 22-17. Like, that didn't do it justice. Like, Minnesota dominated that game.
Yeah.
So, can
And
they
Cam Bynum
replicate?
had 2 picks.
I think. I know
I
you
think he
had the
had one
game
in the
sealing
middle,
one.
and then he had the game ceiling one. Defense. Cam
Okay.
Bynum, 2 interceptions. Yep. Seven
Yeah.
tackles, 2 picks.
Movie.
Movie. And he was quiet. Like we didn't really get to see him last week because they weren't really throwing the ball that far down the field. So,
Forgot he was a Viking.
well, I mean, and then you have the other like layer to it is like how behind is Brandon Ayuk? How much of a factor is he going to be? Because like we saw it with Hawkinson last year. It was what, 3, 4 weeks before he really was himself. And these are some of the top athletes in the world. I'm sure he was still working out. I think he was at the facility at least for part of camp now. So, like, but there is, uh, when you're in a contract negotiation, you're not going hard in the paint every opportunity you get to work out because you do not want to jeopardize your body and said contract. So there's something to be said about that. It looked like it was the case last week, but we'll have to see this week. But there's a chance where like Brian Flores is able just to hone in on Debo Samuel and risk, gamble that Brandon Ayuk's not fully at game speed yet.
Maybe. I don't think that will happen. Uh, I think Brandon Ayuk, even with the lack of offseason he had, I guess, for lack of a better term, beats coverages at an astounding rate. And I know we feel okay about the corner room, I guess, but I think he's plenty capable of cooking whoever is on him. And it's not like he just forget how to run routes. So if they were to hone in on Debo, like I'm not I'm not cool with Brandon Ayuk just being on an
No,
island.
I think that's totally fair. And it's yeah, I should clarify that's more like a possibility that
Yeah, it
maybe that
is.
is the case because key that game last week, even though they kind of dominated, was a weird game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say for sure, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. We've seen um, those kind of weapon guys, offensive weapons, tight end, receivers, not really so much running back, but those guys kind of hold out a little bit and then pay the consequences for a few weeks. But another thing to factor in too is like how much of last year and hopefully what we see Sunday, do you think was just Brian Flores screwing with Brock Purdy? Not even so much coverages, things like that, but just maybe what he was seeing at the line and getting in his own head.
I kind of think he screws with every quarterback he plays.
Well, Brock Purdy especially
Yeah,
could have been susceptible in that game. Yeah.
the young quarterbacks especially, and he can't really because if you look, I think I saw like a list of the quarterbacks we beat last year, and the defense played well against, and it kind of made me sad because I want to believe that this defense is ridiculous and one of the best in the NFL. But Brock Purdy, I mean, one of those guys that's he's not a 10 quarterback, but I think he's a better quarterback than a lot of people give him credit for. So that I mean, last year, uh, Flores totally could have been screwing with him, and I know Brock got like probably concussed in that game. It was later, so I'm not saying like, oh, the Vikings won because Brock Purdy got concussed. That's not true. But he got concussed later in the game, slightly. I don't know how he was allowed to play the next week, but
Yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah, uh, I don't know. I just Brian Flores is always going to try to screw more with the younger quarterback. Like even when they played C.J. Stroud, even though Stroud has proven to already be really good, like he's still going to mess with them a bit. So, I don't know. You just kind of have to hope like Kyle Shanahan knows that Brian Flores is probably going to do that, and Shanahan's one of the best offensive minds in
Well,
NFL
we don't
history.
hope
I'll
that's
say it.
we don't hope that's the
Oh,
case.
sorry. Yeah. I know. Like, yeah. No, I'm not a 49ers fan. Uh, I hope that
With
Kyle
that beard and
Shanahan,
hair, you could really fold me. You look like an actual miner from the
yeah,
California Gold Rush. I think you
yeah,
just need a monocle though.
yeah, you look like a minor too, but not a minor one. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
keep Drake
I
away from you. Uh,
there it is.
and uh, I hope Kyle Shanahan forgets how to call football. That's what I hope. And we
Yeah,
hope the Vikings win.
yeah. I mean,
We,
I'm just so I told myself I wouldn't get overly optimistic at any point this year. But it also sucks being a fan not having optimism, and last week gave me optimism. And
we didn't expect to blow the doors off the Giants. Like,
I
that
thought we'd win.
wasn't,
Yeah, I 100% thought we should win.
yeah.
If we would have lost, I would have been genuinely upset because we should not have lost, even with new players and Sam Darnold and all that. But like some of the things I saw, and again, it's the Giants, whatever. Like it's an NFL team. They're not that different. Like they're really not. It was so promising. Like we talked about it. Like Kevin's game plan throughout the entire game was solid. I think we had one drive where it was some buffoonery with clock management on a few snaps and having to waste timeouts. Like that's not good, but like that was really that. And then the first drive, that quick 3-and-out fumble. I think it was on third down he fumbled. Yeah, like
Hmm.
that was not fun. But every other drive outside of that was like a good sustainable drive. And so that
Yeah.
gives me hope. It wasn't just we kind of like in the Kirk Cousins era a lot, we'd have these insane lulls for the majority of the game, and then just a big couple plays that kept us in the game. And that wasn't what we saw
Hmm.
this last weekend. It was sustained. I'm curious the time of possession. I might look into that real quick. But like it was
Yeah.
different. And if
Even
we're
the
able to
first
replicate
drive
that,
that, even the first drive that was like the worst, obviously, of the game, because that was the only turn, or no, it was one of
was it
two
the only one?
turnovers, but
Yeah.
Um, like the play calling on the first drive wasn't bad. It was a run on first, it was a drop back on second and long, and then it was a dump off on third. So sucks that CJ Ham fumbled, but really from top to bottom, O'Connell called a complete game.
Yeah. I'm trying to look here at time of possession here. Uh, it actually, whoa. You know what? My gut feeling was entirely wrong on this. The
It doesn't.
Giants had the ball for 33 and a half. We had it for 26 and a half. But I
I
guess
was
we
gonna
moved the ball
say,
well.
yeah, I was gonna say it felt like the Giants had the ball a lot.
Yeah, because they were doing a lot of really dumb shit and letting the clock run out.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I'll be at the game Sunday. Did you buy your plane ticket? Did you decide to sell your kidney yet or your car?
Oh no, yeah, I'm in Minneapolis right now.
Oh, wow, awesome. Well, I mean, you have time to get here. You can just
I'm
fly in
here at
tomorrow.
Skullfest. I had to tell JJ Vikings I got to record real quick, so he's out there somewhere. Hopefully he's fine.
It'll be hey, do you just get on a Spirit airline flight and like just wear like 6 layers of clothes so you have everything you need for the weekend?
Yeah, I'll do that. Uh, on a real note, I hope I'm gonna be able to watch this game.
Why are you gonna work?
I have to work all weekend, and Sunday is gonna be ridiculous.
What what you got going on? A new ride launch or like your fall like
No, that's next
Halloween
year.
stuff?
Although I don't deal with in park operations, Jason. Okay, I'm above that. Um, I I'm
You
not.
hire the people who deal with the
Yeah,
in-park operations.
we have fundraising groups that come in and raise funds for their group, like school sports programs and church groups. So we got a bunch of them coming in Sunday
I
because
love the idea of all these people there raising money for like really good causes, like their school sports or like their church group or whatever it is, or their schooling. And Brev's just sitting there, arms folded, just livid. He can't watch a football game.
pretty much, yeah. This happened last year. We played the Chargers week 2, right? And I was like back and forth between my office and the room they all sit in. And like I just come back, like I have no idea what's going on. And then I come back to like after the interception where TJ Hawkinson dropped the ball in the end zone. And I'm just like, what?
Wasn't
What's
that
happening?
KJ Osborne? Oh, I think KJ did too. Yeah, KJ, or
Uh,
was that that was the Chargers game? Yeah,
Chargers
he had it in
game.
his hands and it slipped, and the guy just was like, "Nope." It kind of like
The,
popped out.
the game ended. It was to Hawkinson. Trust me, I remember because a
Well, I
certain
think both
person.
happened in the same game though.
Okay, yeah, probably. Because Hawkinson fumbled in that game earlier, and then the throw, I like it was a tough catch, I guess, but Hawkins, he gets paid to catch that, and it was really a perfect throw by Kirk. But that's beside the point. Um, yeah, I just remember coming back to like the Chargers celebrating, and I was like, what happened? We don't lose games like this because that was before we got used to losing close games, even though we did the week before. But
That was week three, wasn't it? Or was that week two? No, that was week three.
oh yeah, because week 2 is
That,
Philly. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
yeah. Speaking of Philly in week two, I
Oh
realized
boy.
that I think I realized this months ago, and then I tweeted it again this week because it just hit me again how freaking much the league scheduling team must hate Kirk Cousins. But 3 years in a row in Philly, in prime time, in week two
Yeah,
specifically.
I noticed
What?
that
How
a
does that
couple days
happen?
ago. I don't know. I saw that the Falcons were playing the Eagles. Like when I looked at the schedule, I was like, "This is ridiculous." I kind of feel bad for Kirk.
Because last year Monday night or Thursday night,
Last year was Thursday night.
and then the year before that was Monday
Was
night.
Monday night.
What did he do? Who did he
I,
anger?
I don't know.
It's
Uh,
like, oi, that's gonna
um,
be a weird slate of games
hey,
this weekend.
not my problem. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Like,
I'm picking Tampa for the upset against Detroit. One, because I want it to happen, but two, when you look at it, four of their last 5 games will have been against the same two opponents, including the playoffs. So
oh yeah,
Rams, and Bucks to their playoff wins, then played the Niners, then Rams and Bucks to start this season. It's really hard to beat teams twice in a row, and I know there's been like a whole offseason gap. I get that, but to beat two teams twice in a row is very difficult, and I just hope somebody figures out how to just and they start with these home games. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
I,
I
I'm
know it
not
was
going to
week
yell
one,
about the
but
Lions.
the Lions didn't look all that impressive. Week one.
I think here's the thing. I want to amend my record prediction on a caveat in that well, I don't even think I need to because I had us beating the Packers even with Jordan Love to start the year because we always end up splitting. It just always happens. We usually take the earlier game in the year in recent years. But that and how it's going to impact their record and just the NFC in general. Um, I think I have us if we can come out of these first 5 games at 2-3 or 3-2. So end up with a possible upset against the Texans or the Jets, who did not look good.
Mm,
And I don't even know if I'd call that an upset at this point. Um, I I can see us making the playoffs.
yeah, me too. Because if you, I think I had us coming out of the first five, 1-4. So if you can get 2-3, the NFC is going to be. That's the thing is that the NFC is going to be crazy competitive this year for the wild card spots. Like, I think Arizona,
Yeah.
and I said this before they look good against Buffalo. Like Arizona is my sneaky kind of horny team to maybe steal a wild card spot.
And they didn't
So,
even get the ball to Marvin Harrison. Like
yeah,
once
which
they
is
actually
crazy.
start doing that,
Yep.
I don't know. I don't want to get. I'm sure like we're both kind of feeling the same way, and a lot of the viewers are too, where like we know not to get overly excited about something like we saw last week. But then when you put in the perspective of it was the first time we've done that in 5 years, and we have played equally bad teams in that time span and not done this, or in some case even lost to those teams. Like that Colts team was terrible. I know we won, but being down 33 nothing at any point in that game is not good
Yeah.
that
Quite
happened, right?
pathetic,
So like,
actually.
yeah, so like I don't know. I'm in this Sunday, and if we were to get absolutely blown out, I'll take a step back. But if we lose in a tight game, I'll still be pretty confident that there's stuff to work with for this year.
Yeah, and we both had. I think we both had us at least 1-1 in our first two. So like the fact that we blow a team out week one, and then we kind of what we kind of expect will probably happen week two. Like I don't think our predictions for the most part have really changed from the grand scheme,
I
at least.
Yeah, I think my end prediction as far as I think I had us at 8 wins. I think I was so what I saw Sunday, not the fact we won, but how we won was so promising that that is there at any given point. I think I could see us at 9 or 10 wins. I'm going to stick to 8 because I'm a coward and I like to play it safe. But I could see us getting to 9 to 10 wins in a wild card spot. I don't think this weekend will inherently have much of an impact on that if it's a loss. If it's a win, obviously that's a huge change of direction in the outcome of the season.
Yeah, I might be talking about winning the division if we win Sunday. I'm not gonna lie, no matter how stupid.
That's okay. That's a jump I might not be ready to make just yet because
Yeah.
I again don't want to be hurt. But I like where your brain's at.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Pessimistic Brev.
any last thoughts going into Sunday?
Shout out to Unc Shannon Sharp.
He owned up to it. He didn't at first, but then he no, he did eventually own up to it
That's what he was
in
doing.
too much detail on at least the TikTok I saw. If you are trying to catch the game this weekend, if you are in the Twin Cities area or you are looking to make your way out, hop on that Spirit Airlines flight with Brev.
Yeah.
You can use code Brev or code JasonH on SeatGeek for $20 off your first purchase through the site. That way you can save yourself a little money, grab yourself some cheese curds or some line and kugels at the game. But other than that, we will see you guys probably Monday. I don't know if I'll be able to record Sunday because I'll be trying to go to bed early because I think our flight leaves at like 6 a.m. again on Monday.
Hmm. Good planning.
But I'll be home Monday. Well, my wife works at 6 a.m. the next day, so the earlier we get back, the better. You didn't know that? She works at like 6 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., an hour away from our house.
And you're
She
leaving when?
6 a.m. the day before so that we can get home, knock
Oh,
everything
the
out, and
day.
she can go to
Oh,
bed earlier. No, no, no,
okay.
no, no. We're not,
Okay.
she's not going. We're not landing at 6 a.m. being like, go to work, lady. Like,
Yeah, I
no.
was like,
No, that
okay.
is no. No, but we just want to get home, kind of get into the swing of things and get the kiddo back on schedule. He has been awesome. Also, I want to shout out real quick. Obviously, I'm wearing the new Unreal jacket. The Unreal guys had us through yesterday. Super nice. They have some cool stuff cooking up. That's
Yeah, I
all I'll
love
say.
them. Thanks, Unreal.
You got to come out here.
I
Eli
want to.
said,
Yeah.
man, you just do it.
Where's my plane ticket at?
Start in the Spirit Airlines website.
Oh, okay.
You got to start hawking these SeatGeek codes out there a lot
I got to
more.
get back into my PayPal. I think my PayPal got hacked. I'm not even kidding.
That is such a issue that you would have happened to you,
Yeah, I
like
don't know that.
specifically. My
Uh,
PayPal guy. You know what? I use my PayPal for exclusively for the SeatGeek thing.
yeah, me too. Maybe can I just make a new one?
I don't know. Yeah, go to your what is it? The
I think it's
partner
tied to
portal
my
or whatever.
social. I think it's tied to my social.
So yeah, we have. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up because Brev needs to call the IRS. I think he has bigger fish to fry than his PayPal account.
Elon.
Just blame Elon for everything. It's the easy
He
fix.
founded PayPal.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think he has anything to do with it now.
Oh, well, I blame the if fact or fiction, if Elon didn't found PayPal, I wouldn't have gotten my identity stolen. Fact or fiction. Yeah, that's what I thought. Fact.
As we ponder this question, we will see you guys on Monday. Skull Vikes, let's get the upset. Brev, your hair is mesmerizing.
Fact.